What is going on, guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. I am joined by the Film Geeks channel, Trevor over at Film Geeks. How's it going, Trevor?
Dude, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. Talking Lord of the Rings, I'm pumped.
Me too, man. I was telling Trevor before this that I'm new to the franchise. So what we're going to do is on my channel, we're going to tier rank all of the Lord of the Rings villains. And on Trevor's channel, we will be tier ranking all of the Fellowship characters. My tiers are as follows. We have the greatest thing since sliced bread, because sliced bread is the greatest invention of all time. You were so close, what happened? Then we have the Matthew McConaughey tier, all right, all right, all right. We have you ugly but tolerable. And then a tier that we probably won't even use, but it's on there just for the fun of it, is this is why I cry myself to sleep. So I hope you can remember all those tiers, Trevor. If not, that's okay.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I think I got them down a little bit. So we'll see how we do.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. The first villain that we have is Gollum. I really like Gollum, but Trevor, what do you think about Gollum?
Let's get this out of the way. He's ugly, but he's tolerable. But he's an amazing villain. So best in sliced bread, he has to be. I mean, because he's so menacing. He gets you like Schmeagol. You kind of want to root for. But then Gollum comes around and you hate him and you want Sam to kill him. And how he makes Frodo turn on his best friend Sam, dude, it rips the guts out of me when I see this happen. Now, Gollum's, he's badass though, dude.
So I think we're in agreement. Greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, has to be. He's ugly though. Let's not get that wrong.
He's definitely not a player with the ladies, that's for sure. Yeah. But I agree with everything you said. I think one of the best things about Gollum too is the performance by Andy Serkis. I think the commitment that he gives to that character is probably one of my favorite performances by him ever, if not my favorite. I mean, you just love to hate him, but at the same time, there's sympathy there as well for the character because he's just so possessed by the ring. So the next one is Wormtongue. And I'm going to say that Wormtongue is one of my favorite characters, if not because of Brad Dourif. I love Brad Dourif a lot. I'm a huge horror fan, and obviously he voices Chucky, for those of you who don't know.
I did not know that.
That's cool. He voices Chucky. He's also in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which he is phenomenal in that movie. I definitely recommend that movie. And that's a very young Brad Dourif, so he actually doesn't look as gross as Wormtongue does. But Wormtongue, I don't know if I could put him in Greatest Thing Since Sliced Bread. I just don't think there's enough character development there. I would personally put him in You Were So Close, What Happened, just because he is menacing, and when he's on screen, he is a presence. But I don't know. What are you thinking, Trevor?
I'm more towards you ugly but tolerable, and I'm cool if you want to put him in You're So Close, But What Happened. But to me, he was just almost Saruman's echo. He can never really do anything without Saruman kind of poisoning the minds that they did. And that's all Saruman. And Wormtongue, Grima, is this little guy, ugly dude, sitting next to him, kind of just thinking he has power when he really doesn't. I think he's fantastically played. If he wasn't there, he'd definitely be missed. So I could go where the tier you want to go. You Were So Close to What Happened, but I am leaning more towards the one right below that is You Ugly but Horrible, right?
The next one is All Right, All Right, All Right, which I think we could put him there just because that's kind of the middle. That's the difference. Then we have Sauron, which is, the character of the entire trilogy. I want to hear your thoughts first, Trevor.
You could probably just put him in the lowest tier. We can move on. That's probably how we can do it. Sauron has to be, he is the greatest thing since sliced bread. We don't barely get to see this guy. But how just knowing he's out there, it's more of the aura and idea he's out there, and that if Mordor gets the ring, Saruman's coming back, and we're all done. We're doomed if that happens. And seeing his little 5-minute introduction in the Fellowship and the first great big battle of the elves and men, and Sauron just bashing fools, he's so awesome. And the eye of Sauron, the eye is always fixed if the ring gets put on. I mean, he's barely in the movies, but he's always there and he's always mentioned. And everyone's terrified of him. So that easily makes him the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah,
my humble opinion.
I agree. I mean, the way I think about it is if it wasn't for Sauron, there would be no Lord of the Rings. There would be no purpose. And so
for sure.
You have to put him in the highest tier possible because, without him, we wouldn't have this amazing trilogy. And it's kind of, I guess, even more than that now. It's more like a franchise, I would say. So Sauron is definitely the greatest thing since sliced bread. Then we have Saruman, played perfectly by Christopher Lee. I would put him in greatest thing since sliced bread too. I think he is such a good villain. Number one, Christopher Lee there's something about him that is like creepy in a way. Like any performance he gives, even outside of like Count Dooku or Saruman. Because if you look at, have you ever seen the movie Hugo, the Martin Scorsese film? Oh. So he plays a librarian in that movie, and he's actually a good person in that movie, but he's still creepy. Yeah. There's just something about him. I'm like, ooh, I don't trust that guy. And I think that Christopher Lee just has that persona. He has that screen presence that really captivates an audience, and he really lets you buy into this idea of this actual menacing wizard who is completely against what Gandalf stands for. And I just love that opposition that Gandalf has.
They were actually friends in the Fellowship. And then you see that Saruman's kind of trying to tell Gandalf to like join him, let's do this. And then Gandalf's like, what are you talking about, dude? This is everything we don't stand for. If you see the Hobbit movies, Saruman technically is a good guy in those films. So it's kind of cool to see a change of pace with him. Christopher Lee does his role such justice. There's lots of things that are great in sliced bread, and he's one of them.
Yeah, we're in agreement. So that it makes it easy, dude. It really makes it. We have the Witch King next. Yeah. The Witch King. I would probably have to say that this is kind of an all right.
Yeah,
I do see this character a lot, but I think one of the problems is that this character, he's really just Sauron's slave, essentially. Like he does what Sauron wants, and he doesn't really have his own identity. You know, he's just trying to get the ring, and whenever Frodo is near, and whenever he can feel the presence of the ring, like he'll be there. But it's not menacing enough to the point where I feel like he's an actual real threat in these movies. So I'm leaning towards the all right tier.
Brother, I am right there with you. It is a cool moment. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Return of the King. If you haven't, why are you watching this video? But he takes out Theoden King in the Battle of Minas Tirith in the field. It's a very emotional moment. And then he gets killed by Eowyn, my main girl, Eowyn. I am not a man. Stabs him in the face, literally right in his face hole. Awesome. But other than that, he's an all right character. He's really powerful. Yes, he's very all these things, but like he gets put together in the Return of the King, basically everything. So he's an all right character. If like he wasn't in the movie still would have gone along very nicely.
Boromir and Faramir's father, Denethor. I
Today, Junior.
Knew that name. It was like I was blanking on it. So Denethor, this is a character to me. He's almost the same way as like Gollum is, where like you love to hate him, but not the same level at all, because he's just really lost. And I feel like part of the problem with this character is that we don't ever really get to see him play out with Boromir, like actually have that turn to where he just like completely loses his mind, because that's literally the only thing that we know about him, is that he's just this crazy dude who is obsessed with power, pretty much treats Faramir like garbage, because Boromir was his favored child. Like that was his life. I might put him in You Ugly But Tolerable, to be honest. Like I don't really feel he's that big of an outstandish character to me. The best thing about him is when he's lit on fire and he jumps off the castle or whatever that's called.
Minas Tirith, top of Minas Tirith.
On the top of Minas Tirith. Thank you, Trevor. Where would I be without you in this video?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I agree. He's ugly but tolerable. The best thing he does is get Pippin to sing that beautiful song when Faramir and the Gondor Knights are charging. That's about the only good thing he does. He's just a big old pansy of fear and run for your lives. Gandalf's the reason for Minas Tirith surviving until the Rohirrim showed up and Return of the King, you know? Sorry, I'm going full on nerd of Lord of the Rings.
No, you're good. You're good.
Denethor is annoying. Like, let's be real. It is cool. He's relationships with Faramir and Boromir. He's a broken man because his favorite son was killed. But other than that, Denethor is like, you don't love to hate him. You just hate him. Like, I can't stand him. I still can't stand him. Only reason I know his name is because I've done Lord of the Rings trivia thousands of times. And that's one of the main questions everyone gets wrong. Denethor. So, not a big fan of his at all.
One of the funniest things about that character too is like when Pippin is singing, and he's just like chowing down that food. He just has like nasty juices.
Yep.
Like nasty.
Run down.
Yeah. Just like it's just dripping down his face. It's so gross. Hey, my hat off to the actor. I thought he did a really good job portraying this character. But all around, all these performances from all these villains are fantastic. That's pretty much it. I want to thank Trevor for joining me on this video. Where can people find you on YouTube?
You can find me on YouTube on the Film Geeks YouTube channel. I talk about movies, Lord of the Rings, all sorts of nerdy fun stuff. You can find me over on Instagram, Trevor Central, Twitter, TrevCentral1. Dude, thanks so much for having me on. We kind of just really became friends, like, as recently, you know, so it's cool. We got a collab already. I can't wait to do it again, man.
All of Trevor's social links down below. So make sure you go hit that subscribe button over to him. He's got some great content. And also go check out his podcast that he does. The Film Saga podcast. Him and Chris Bowie, Film Stock, who we've had on the channel before, they do a awesome job. And every week they do this thing called the Mockskers. They do it like every Monday morning, right? What time? Monday morning?
We shoot for 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's generally noon Eastern.
So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. That would mean a lot. Consider hitting the subscribe button as well, joining the community. We talk about movies and we have a great time. So thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
Boom.